Hey guys, Zoose here. So, here we have a Kha'Zix game, and I'll display all the runes and the skill order, as well as the items for this champ. Now, I feel like I'm getting the hang of this jungle. Getting some good, decent early games in, and I figured out that, I don't know about you guys, but jungling is really about just being patient and not rushing too much. Every game that I feel like I rush or take too much time doing one thing and not focusing on something else, and I guess not being reactive, because sometimes you want to farm and you have a sort of plan in your head of what you want to do, but sometimes it just doesn't turn out like that. You've got two lanes losing, everyone's pinging you, and that's something that I've realized about jungling. It's kind of a reactionary role, whereas if I was mid or top, I can, if I want to plan just to CS, I pretty much have that option. Maybe there's an invade that I follow up with or something, but anyway, this game, it's going to be an interesting game, and you'll see right at the end why this is one of those really interesting games. I think with Kha'Zix as well is one of the champs that I'd say I'm pretty decent with in terms of, compared to like my Rengar and all the other jungle champs that I'm just inexperienced with. I'd say Kha'Zix, and while I'm going to talk about the ones that I'm good with, I'd say Elise as well. Elise is actually my strongest jungler, and I definitely won't be playing her for a while. But definitely something where as I climb, I'm going to play the champs that I'm more experienced with. Definitely testing things out right now. And Kha'Zix is in between those two areas, and because I'm kind of just struggling with balancing all the new things in the jungle, as well as who to kill. And by the way, I get a bit of vision of that Graves, which gives me a lot of information. But going to talk about the game in a second, but just going to finish off and say that as I move up, I kind of wanted to play this game with something that I was familiar with, like Kha'Zix, and just focus more about the team and the objectives and what's going on around the map. So I actually see Graves. Now, by the way, if you don't know how to play Kha'Zix, if this is your first time, as you can see, there's those circles around the monsters. They kind of give you, well, they give you pretty much isolation damage, and that is what makes Kha'Zix so strong. It is an insane amount of damage that he can do, especially with his Q. I mean, that's how he procs it. It's pretty much the only way he can proc it with his Q. So, he gets isolated, you get that Q damage, and it's worth about 3 autos early game. It's pretty insane, especially evolve it first. Now, I'm actually going to test a few things this game, and that is evolving a few different spells. Now, I'm going to put a ward here. Now, he hasn't taken it because I got vision of him, but he's going for a full clear. So, he might be there, and there he is right there. Now, he gives away his position with that Q. Now, he's watered that brush. I don't want to go through there. So, I'm just going to hang around, stay out of vision, slightly out of vision, until either the red buff is really low or he's really low. Now, he's staying pretty healthy, so I can come in now. I can steal this. Kind of screw that up, actually, but because he wasn't prepared at all, I'm just going to kill him. There you go. I think he could have flashed. Maybe he already used flash in that invade. And just a bit of patience there. Usually I wouldn't try that out, but because I got vision of him, actually got help from my team, giving me vision of him really early, which, I mean, they probably don't even know that, but just those small words pretty much, so I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on mid as well, but not much I can do there. Good to get as soon as someone dies, it's good to like get a grasp or get a quick idea of how much health you're dealing with, and as you could see, he was really high health, so there's no point. Not sure how someone dies to a Malzahar before level 6 with Malzahar being high health, but must have really made a big mistake somewhere. But yeah, I can see him coming now. I don't want to take a risk, and he may be still, because he's kind of in that tilt mode. Remember, he's just lost half his jungle. He's just died. He has no buffs, and he's after some revenge. So I knew he'd be in there, so I just used that scrying orb to get vision of him. So with Kha'Zix, I guess I could talk more about him, but in terms of evolving, which one to evolve, I've heard a lot of people talk about R. Now with R evolving, once you get into a brush, you pretty much get his invisibility, which is really good when it comes to ganking and certain team comps where you want to kind of poke in and out of fights, do a bit of damage, go out a bit. Maybe you want to like get a lot of damage out, then go in invis until your cooldowns are up, and you kind of weave in and out of fights. Now, as you could tell, that Graves actually, because there was nothing to take on that side of the map, he was pretty much waiting. He pretty much waited that entire time. Maybe he took a scuttle just for that kill. Now, I think that's a waste of time, but he's actually caught up in CS2, so I mean, I guess patience paid off for him in the end. Had Teemo survived, he would have wasted so much time. So kind of a 50-50 chance there for that Graves, but he pulled it off, so got to give him some respect for that. Now here I want to go for a kill. Now my bot lane kind of moves up and they could tell, but it's not warded. By their movement, I know this is not warded, but they're very skeptical that something's about to happen. Now I jump in, I try and kill the Zoe, but and he actually had Ignite. Now I pinged this. It's not a good idea to ping. You can always tell people doing this, but a reaction, I had it. I always do it, and had she ignited, I think she would have been dead. That heal saved the Zoe. Now she healed after I fully bursted her. Now if she had ignited right at that moment that I went for the full burst, definitely would have been dead in my opinion. But they kill her anyway. After all that, after like they burn the flashes, they pretty much killed bot lane now. So just like that, wasn't paying attention, didn't really expect. And again, you don't want to answer. Now I'm gonna always give tips about, I guess, attitude and mentality of your team. You definitely don't want to answer back. There's not much you can win with that, even if you're right. I could have been wrong, but I have a very good chance, and anyone, I guess at a high elo, would have ignited anyway. There's no way you wouldn't have not ignited, knowing that, oh, they would have survived with 1 HP. It was way too close to call. You always got to do the damage. It's better to just put out the damage than to not put it out and get them, let them get away pretty much. But anyway, going on with Kha'Zix, I'd say people have, as I mentioned, people have been evolving his R, but as you'll see in this game, I kind of lack damage. Usually I max the Q or evolve Q first, and that damage that you get from the isolation is insane. It pretty much can, I mean, you can even shred through tanks. It's so strong, and I kind of felt like I lacked damage with this R. So I would still say there is no right option of what to get first. Now there's even some games where teams are so far behind where we actually need a little bit of poke, and even evolving W, which sounds crazy, but evolving W first is really good. So they kind of flash and get the kills here. I really want to get a kill, and Vayne actually helps and he died there. And I kind of realized then, I'm like, I cannot ever try to I guess rely on these players, because as you could see, that was just a messy fight. I came in and I pretty much wasted my time. I got 1 assist. I really wanted a kill there just to make up for all that time lost, but you know, if there's not you know, a Vayne flashing for a kill, that was pretty much guaranteed, and taking her from me, which is not too bad. She's got 3 kills, but at the end of the day, you definitely want to give a jungler, if he's going to come all the way to help, if it's a guaranteed kill, definitely want to give it to him instead of flashing a guaranteed kill, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would agree. Now I could go top here. Now I see Karyn is really low. Now that's a good opportunity to go top, but again, I'm always in that in between, like not knowing how these players are going to decide to make a decision. Every single time they've surprised me, so I don't know if he's going to back straight away, and because he's stuck around, I'm definitely going to go for it. It's too good to be true. When he's going to stay that long, he's definitely going to stay for another wave. Now I actually press R here, didn't have to do it. Because I've evolved my R, I get the passive as soon as I enter the brush anyway, so there was no need to press R, but it doesn't really matter. It's safe anyway to just press it. I'm not used to it, so that's going to take a little bit of time, and that was a reaction sort of thing. Wasn't thinking. Got to get the priority straight, so just make sure the kill is there, and not worry about spell usage and cooldowns for now. Now this is an interesting one, because, and as you can see, there goes my passive proccing as soon as I enter the brush. A lot of people have tried this out and said that it's good, but I think it really does depend on what you're playing with. Now this guy's just blindly going in. I mean, he had enough time to react, but reaction's a bit slow now. I'm afraid why she's going that way was just made no sense to me. Made no sense why she's going there, or why she'd shumpo for no reason. If there was a Graves around the wall or something, then I mean, then she's gone. So really unsafe play by her. I don't know what she was doing. And there he goes. So, you know, 10 seconds later, he would have come through there. He would have picking up the kill on Katarina. She could have just walked into tower. No reason for her to go back in that brush. Especially while she's ignited. She's going to give away vision of herself anyway, so I really want to push this in. I don't want him to freeze. I could always fight that Graves, but just because I wanted to push that wave in, I just not in the mood to. Now, again, here's that proc. It's really nice. Now I'm kind of waiting behind this wall because I don't want to. Usually people ward the try, so kind of skeptical there. I'm waiting for this Annie to just press R and We're able to get a kill on that. Yeah, and once the Caitlyn has netted me, there's no chance. I could flash, but I'm not gonna do enough damage. And while she's close to minions, that without that isolation, there's just not enough damage. Now they want to go to dragon. Now I don't think it's a good idea, just because I don't see Graves, so it's a risk. Whenever it's and as you can see, that Malzahar's got to push too. Now even though it's a 3v4, if everyone on the bottom side was just to fight, I still think it's a very risky call. Just because of, I guess, anything could happen. Instead of me guaranteed all this damage, all this farm, but they keep going anyway. I still don't like the call, but then I see Graves top. This is when I'm like, okay, fair enough, good call, let's go get it. It was still, I guess, just a random call, made no sense. They just want to take a dragon. I understand someone's dead, but sometimes it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. It is still decently safe when you're up ahead to take a dragon, but again, if it's even a slight risk, I just wouldn't take it. And I feel like Malzahar is just so much stronger than Katarina. I kind of wanted to flash above that Zoe, but she already flashed, so again, bit desperate for kills, man. But I've already got 4 kills actually. No need to be desperate once you've got that many. I definitely don't want to fight with the Malzahar coming in too. Nothing I can do here. If I jump in, I'm gone. So yeah. At this point, I just need to defend this while Katarina pushes, I guess. Not much I can do. 3v1, and they're all pretty high health, as you can tell. They've all pretty much got the same health as me or less. Now I've tried to poke, but this guy's getting really close. They're taking a lot of turret damage, and he's still taking damage. I actually could have. That would have been tough. He flashed, so surprisingly, they always have flash when I come for them, but that's okay. Gotta watch out though for this damage from the Caitlyn. Again, I'm just wanting to wave clear this. Really don't want to fight. It's a bit of a weird game, this one. You have to defend. As much as I want to go in on them, I can't do anything. I kind of bait it for Vayne anyway, so now I've got to watch out for this Zoe damage. And with that Vayne, a nice Vayne, I'm able to just get a kill. So that patient really paid off. That patient play, there wasn't anything I could do. If I jump in, if I get too close to the minions, I had to let a lot of minions go. And it was hard for me to let those minions go, trust me. I really wanted that XP, I really wanted that gold, had to let it go. Kate kept poking me under. I had to wait for my team to come up. It was kind of a balance between not rushing it because the tower's going to go down, but also making sure she kind of stayed around so my team could capitalize on pretty much the overstay. And it worked out, so at this much gold, you really do want to buy. One of the worst things I've done playing jungle, I think, is not finishing off my jungle item. One of the best items, just for that clear and the sustain that you get, plus the damage. It's something where most junglers would know exactly how much gold they have, how many camps they need just to finish it off. And it's something I need to learn, so keep that in mind when you're jungling as well. I'll take all these buffs. Someone like Katarina doesn't need blue anyway. She's not... Mana's not really going to help her at all, so maybe the cooldown, but her cooldown's not important either. Especially someone who's got resets like Katarina. So which means I can get blue buffs this game. All mine. Now at this stage of the game, we've got a pretty good lead here, so I'm actually feeling good about this. But there is still a weakness in this team, and that is our top lane, who's not doing too well, and our top lane's not a tank. So that's gonna kind of... So I go in there. I don't really care if I will get that or not, but someone needs to get that kill. I end up doing a lot of damage, or just enough to kill it, because I think Katarina could have easily finished it as well. So again, Teemo's kind of behind now, so this is where things start to go a little bit wrong. And that silence really does it. It does do a lot. Now, if I had jumped in, Q was still down, minions around. I don't know if because I'm not going to get the isolation proc. Not sure if I would have killed him. Not worth at this point to try and kill that dude. I'm 6-0. Don't want to give him any more kills, so I just back off. Maybe another game, another day, I would have gone for that. Now it's just about clearing, getting as much farm as possible. Should be actually trying to win this game as well. But so at this point, I just want to finish off pretty much Duskblade and then get Yumu's. The amount of damage I can get from those two items is just insane. Puts me at a really good stage where I feel so confident to hard carry, and which is really important for someone like Kha'Zix. When you can start going in, especially with the next two evolutions coming up, Evolve Q and then Evolve E, that's when you pretty much just start popping off, where you can pretty much go in 1v5 most of the time, and you feel much safer getting out. At this stage I don't, with no E evolved, and the Q damage is really low. Again, this is one of the first games I've tried the R evolve, and I don't think it was the best to do it this game. When you're trying to hard carry, and I was, I guess, pretty much relying on my own damage to do most of the killing. Q evolve is still best. It's still best first, in my opinion. Now there'll be some games where you can even evolve E first, if you feel like you want to go in and out a lot. If you feel like you want to jump and snowball. I'm still able to get kills, able to do so much damage. I kind of surprised myself, especially with the Duskblade damage on top of that. And the Electrocute. The combo is pretty insane. So this stage is kind of, as you can see, like, we're getting kills and then we just cannot seem to get anything from it. And again, the teammate just keeps dying. Especially if you're ever in that position where the entire team's ahead, then you should definitely just resist the urge to die and maybe just defend whenever you can. And over there, I just had to make sure that guy didn't get away. Now remember, getting a kill on the jungler at that stage is really good. Now I guess I can get a free dragon here. I can do whatever. I can do a lot of things. Now this player doesn't seem to know what she's doing. I don't know why she stayed. Obviously they had no vision there, but I was just there. I just killed the Graves there, so not sure what she was doing. Out of position, went for her. Now here we should have got the dragon. If this is a mistake I made, it's not getting the dragon. But I'm also thirsty for towers. I kind of want objectives. And then as you can see, the Malzahar comes up, so I just don't even bother trying to get that anymore. I think this is where we move on to the dragon, where it's just like we need to take stuff. We need to get as much as we can with our lead. Playing like this is just not right. If you're just going to keep getting kills and not getting anything from those kills, and you'll see later why that's so important. So pretty much one tower kill each team. And I mean, and then the 10 kill lead really should put us way more ahead than what we are. We're not able to get that kill either there. To be fair, no flashes on me, and he may already. Now at this point, I really want to take buffs too. Don't like how she's taking buffs. I've seen the way she's playing. I don't want to rely on her or anything. It may be a little bit selfish here, but again, if you're a jungler, you're entitled to your own buff. So definitely, if you feel like you want to carry, if you're doing well, then definitely just take them. Don't feel guilty taking your own buffs. She could take it, but again, I've seen the way she's kind of played. I don't really trust her that much, regardless of the score. She's doing well with score wise, but I've seen some of the decisions she's made. I don't trust her. And I don't trust Vayne's below plat, to be honest. Okay, so as much as I want to take objectives now, I guess pushing towers seems to be the hardest part of this game. Now, Karyn is probably the only person doing well on the other team, and seems to be keeping them in this game. Katarina gets a kill here. Not much we can do after that. It seems to be this whole game is just like this. We're able to get kills, and then that's it. There's nothing else we can actually do here. And he sees me coming in there. I was so sure I had that kill. Oh, that's heartbreaking. When someone gets away with that much health and the exhaust comes out, oh, that's hard. You hit everything, you get the combos off, but not enough. Now I want to jump this guy. I also got to watch out. I don't have QSS at this point either, so jumping in could mean the end of me if I don't know who's behind him. Now Graves is bottom, so if Vayne actually gets, got to watch out here. Never want to jump a Malzahar on the tower. You never know what he's got, what he's waiting. And I can tell because he's gonna back. If he doesn't back, he's pretty much got ult already. Yeah, so that tells me he has ult 100%. Now I only go in here just because I see Annie coming in, so I knew he's gonna press that. That was his plan all along, and he still gets me. I know that he used a Q and he missed the Q on me, and then as we're fighting, his R comes up. He probably had it up for a while, but still able to do all that damage. And again, we're still not able to get this mid tower, and pretty hard to do this. It seems to be the issue this game is just we're not able to get objectives. No matter how many kills I'm able to get. But there is a lot to be positive about. I mean, I'm doing as much as I can without giving away too many kills as well. I mean, only 1 death so far, and I mean that amount of damage from Malzahar was not expected. He hit everything as well. After his R got cancelled by Annie, he pretty much hit that Q right after, and maybe I could have dodged that. Maybe I would have survived, but insane amount of damage. Even though we pretty much had him dead, but Malzahar is still a massive threat even after the nerf to his R. He's still got a lot of damage, and he's doing well this game, so he's got a few kills. Definitely not someone you want to mess with. Now I got the QSS this time, feeling much more confident in terms of what I can do and what I can what I can push. I can definitely play differently now with the QSS. Now this is just we need kills. But after getting a few kills, we just want to take objectives. Yeah, this is a bit tough because they're not pushing up enough, and they kind of could smell something was not right. I could tell by their movement. I mean, even my team was backed off and they still wouldn't go for me. So at this point in the game, it's like we're ahead, but things are not going as well. We don't have all the towers that we want with these kills, right? They still have more towers than us. They probably have one more dragon, I think. I forgot the tab menu, but it's something where I have a lot of kills on me, and it's kind of spiked the scoreline. So it looks like we're really strong, but we're also lacking a tanky sort of player. So there's something with solo queue when you don't have a tank. There's usually not someone to kind of be that meat shield. You always need someone to just tank that damage for you. Now I'm gonna go on these Graves. I have enough damage. I actually ruined my combo, and I have to flash now. If it was cleaner, I would have been able to kill him, and I think I just didn't get that auto off. So it's really important that you do, you know, always optimize your combos, no matter how fed you are. As you can see, even though I'm really fed, missing 1 or 2 abilities, even an auto attack, is going to cost me pretty much my flash. Now, as you could see, the Malzahar was ulting, so he was still right. It was pretty much guaranteed jump on him, but Caitlyn was right there too. Now, Caitlyn is extremely squishy. And while Malzahar is ulting, I knew he wasn't going to kill the Katarina. And it's simply those small decisions where I think a lot of people may have gone on the Malzahar, and then what you will find is that the Caitlyn and the Malzahar will just turn on you. So keep that in mind. You always have to be reactionary. Be versatile. Don't just think of a plan and stick to it before you jump in. And going on that Caitlyn, knowing my damage, I'm extremely fed. It's just jumping on her, and I could pretty much one-shot her. And then obviously turning on the Malzahar. So getting some dragons now, really important. Again, I'm gonna reinstate this, but even though we have a crazy scoreline and I've got a lot of kills, that's a lot of pressure. Basically, if you have this many kills, you are expected to carry. And top lane, we don't have a tank. That is what I was going on about before. And not having a tank in solo queue, you need that meat shield, someone who's going to tank a lot of damage and just allow carriers to have a safe entry into a team fight. Now she's able to get that nice stun on the wall, really good. Now this guy is just hard to kill. Now he's not even complete tanky. Look at that build. He's actually got a lot of damage, and he's even got attack speed. Very troll builds. You wouldn't see this in other elos, but you know, and if my team keeps like kind of getting picked off like this, it's not going to be a good game. Now just because we got a lead, I think this happens in a lot of elos, not just, you know, bronze, silver and gold, but that kind of death is not good. Now, NA is one of our few engage tools that we have, and them going in like this 1-on-1 is just not that smart. I'm still able to pick up 1 kill because I find that it's safe with Vayne coming in, but it's a tough game. People are making some really bad decisions, especially that Katarina. Not sure what she was thinking, but see, so as you can see, our team comp's not even that good. Someone like Annie is our only form of engage. We've got Vaynes, and this is what I was going on about before. This is why I don't give people my boss, because I could tell early on that she's just not a trustworthy player. She may make a good play every now and then, but playing the way she's playing, it's not someone I can trust to carry this game with. And over here, I get too close. Of course, that Zoe E hits me, and it is one of the most dangerous CCs in this game. Really tough game so far. Even though with all these kills, it's what I struggle. If I imagine now, if that Teemo, even if it was 1-7, but if it was just a tank, he could literally just walk in there, tank a bunch of abilities, and have someone like me, Katarina, finish this game completely off. It would have been over by now, 100%. Someone, but because he wants to go something like a Teemo, it's always fine to pick Teemo. I don't mind when players pick squishy champs instead of tanks, of course, but when you're gonna keep feeding and kind of not watch yourself in terms of your limits and just constantly die, it puts the whole team behind. Definitely a liability at this point. But regardless, we move on, we keep playing. Just letting you guys know as well, you could always, if you feel like it's I guess if you're not doing too well and your team's pretty much winning. I mean, most lanes did pretty well. Even though we didn't win hard, they definitely are not stomping or anything. Yeah, they've got so much pressure and they're doing so well, especially someone like Katarina. At this point, I kind of think I shouldn't be taking this many kills, but my damage is just too much. If I do 1 Q, I literally just like half health that Caitlyn. I definitely could have left the other kill for Katarina, and that's something as I'm playing, I'm realizing. I definitely should be leaving some of these kills. Now, I want to dive and I want to jump, but again, no tanks, very hard to dive these sort of comps. It's hard to... Unless Annie or someone engages with a stun, I'm definitely going to be rooted under the tower. I have a QSS, but I don't know who's behind. They still have like 2 people up, so going for these dives. We want to take towers at this point though, and we're desperate. As you can see, but look where Katarina is. Look at where Teemo is. Like, not really doing much, especially this Teemo. Not even blaming at this point. I mean, even that Annie just constantly dying like that. It's those small little deaths. An easy win is pretty much guaranteed if we just do not die, and I guess just go for the kills. Now I really want to jump this guy, and I know he's ready to ult me, and this Graves damage is insane. I did not expect this damage. Now once you get too close to, look at that, look at those basic attacks. That's 1,000 damage just from probably 2 autos. Now it does include obviously the closer you get to Graves, the more damage he does, and he really showed me how much damage he has. I definitely didn't think I'd have to, you know, worry about him. I thought it would be a quick kill on Malzahar and then a quick kill on Graves. Didn't turn out that way, and I paid for it. Someone like me who's carrying this team right now, I've got a lot of kills too, so I cannot afford to be dying at this stage. And if we want to summarize this game up to this point, just because we have so many kills, I'm definitely someone who's picking up kills. A lot of them are by myself, so when you're picking up kills by yourself, that's not really sharing the gold. My team's not able to get as much gold as I am. Whereas if they're team-orientated goals, you can tell by the team has been in 4 fights. He's only been in 4 fights, right? And he's died 7 times. I mean, he's probably been in more fights, but he's only contributed to the team kills with 4. That is not a lot. So definitely a liability. But this is what you're going to get. You're going to get, and I've mentioned this before, is this randomness of this bronze, silver, and gold randomness where I don't know if this guy's first timing Teemo. I don't know if he's got a bad internet connection. I don't know if he just got into a bad queue with players who have played more games than him. It's hard to know what the deal with some of these players are. So I checked this guy out. He's by himself. Remember, I do have QSS coming up in a few seconds, and I don't want to risk anymore. Someone picking off someone like that. Now, at this point, I definitely could have pushed mid, but look at all the pressure bot. That Garen pushing means that it's very risky to do anything. Well, we can definitely push mid, but no one actually... Like, Katarina's not moving, Vayne's dead. This is a constant recurrence of this game where I want to take things, I want to push up, but it's extremely hard when you're 80 carry. See, 80 carries are one of the few champs that can do a lot of damage to towers and not die. Just quickly, I really needed to QSS that Zoe E. She can do so much damage. And someone like Caitlyn coming up is definitely going to kill me. Now I secure the kill. Once Zoe goes press that R, I know she's going to return back to her R, so it's pretty much a guaranteed jump for me. I kind of got to watch out. This guy does a lot of damage. Once that silence comes in as well, I'm pretty much like unable to do what I have to do to kill him, and that's press abilities. Someone like Kha'Zix pretty much only needs 1 or 2 autos in a really quick fight. He's definitely more based on abilities, and once you're silenced, you pretty much take all that away. Now this is a Baron call I go for just because I know that 2 of them are dead, and we do it so fast, especially a Vayne. Whenever you have a Vayne, keep that in mind. Now at this point I'm scared because of the Malzahar, and I'm pretty sure from my memory I've screwed this up. I can't actually smite because of the... So once Malzahar jumps in like that, I'm pretty much screwed. If Annie had come, which I was pinging for, it would have been a different story. And that's all it takes. People reacting to... I should have jumped instantly. Again, that silence really gets me. I should have instantly jumped there. There's no excuse there. Pretty bad play by me. And that's all it takes. So if Annie had come, she definitely could have helped. Maybe like stun the Malzahar as soon as he jumped in. But once he's pressed R on me, I'm not able to do anything. I can't even press smite. And you could see my smite was disabled as soon as he flashes in. And that's all it takes. I still think it was a really good call. If people just came, it wouldn't make sense for Annie to just wander around doing nothing. But again, it's full of randomness, this sort of elo, and I keep mentioning just so you keep that in mind, because it's going to happen to you. Look at this. I mean, she walks past a Zoe, a guaranteed kill, and then misses it on Caitlyn. This you're going to see this all the time. Well, these random things are, like, it just shocks me, but it's something I've just gotten used to now. But at this stage of the game, look at the enemy team's scoreline. Then it's not even that good. 2-11 as a Zoe support and 2-8 as a AD carry. I mean, there's nothing, I guess, nice to look about. Nice looking about those scorelines, but they keep playing. That team is constantly putting pressure. They're constantly pushing lanes, and just like that, they're able to just win. And you can tell by that grave damage. Once Vayne gets too close, it's just over. Now I want to jump in, but there's going to be 4. And here I screw up by going in on this guy. I actually pressed my QSS way too early. If I had pressed it a little bit after, it would have been okay. But that was a pretty bad dive. At this point, I'm getting really desperate too, because this constant theme of my team dying, and this is going to happen in your game. So I think this is one of those good games where, if you look back at my small mistakes, especially that one right there, where I QSS'd just, literally 0.1 second too early, that's all it takes for me to lose a fight. And it's something that can be improved on. So keep that in mind when you're playing all those little mistakes, and when you're watching your own replays. If you want to get better at a higher rate, I would recommend watching your own replays. You'll notice things that you may not see. But this is me spam pinging now because I'm desperate for people to just play well. Like this, we should not be losing this. And this sort of thing where like we have a support wave clearing on a tower that's pretty safe at the moment. Especially a support like Annie, who's amazing at engages. One Tibber's ult is just... One Tibber's like stun is insane. Can literally change the whole game. And her like pushing just made no sense. Especially not even placing wards. It just doesn't make any sense. So sometimes it has to be called. If I ping a few times, they won't listen. So sometimes you got to ping a few times. Especially if you're at this stage of the game. People definitely react to... more pings at this stage of the game. And now we're just wave clear duty. This is, again, it's a pretty unlucky game. The scoreline's good. I'm having fun, by the way. This is definitely something where you can, when you're getting a full build and you're carrying and you're doing a lot of damage. She keeps getting me with those E's. Man, it's just like... And then I have to use QSS. I didn't expect her Q to be up straight away, so it's just... She keeps getting me with those E's. I've got to dodge those E's, or something is like... I kind of try to jump randomly or like land in different areas so she doesn't really predict, but she just keeps hitting me. Definitely something I have to improve on as well. I'm probably giving away where I'm going way too quickly. And I could have QSS'd a lot better too. I didn't actually want to use my QSS. I wanted to save it, but then once I saw the Q come out, I needed to press it. And she still hit me with the Q anyway. So even a support Zoe, like 3-11, whatever her scoreline is, can do a lot of damage. And I'm going full squishy here. I am taking a lot of risk. Now, because I mentioned this before, I do not want to let this person take my red buffs. I definitely need to rely on myself. Every time I see her, she's either dead, trying to split push, and just causing our team to be behind. Now I've got 3k gold. Now they want to come in, so even though I've got 3k gold, this Annie decides to go in, so I have to go with the call. And that's all we get from it. We're only able to get 1 kill. Unfortunate. It seems to be something that this enemy team is really good at as well, and that's just disengaging. Again, we have this Teemo getting caught out. This will happen in your games. You're going to have that player. Sometimes you're going to be that player. If you can learn from that. And I get so unlucky here again. Like this, everyone seems to have flash when I'm playing. When I go for kill, even though he died, the Teemo died, I say everyone seems to have flash. Alright, well there you go. We still get the kills. They still both have flash, and so that's another thing. If you can die but allow the enemy team to use summoner spells on you, it kind of helps your team too. But just to die and not allow the enemy team to use any summoner spells on you is kind of just wasteful. You're kind of just dying for free at that point. We still pick up the 2 kills. Not too clean, but we still get them. And as you can see, every single time where we're able to get a few kills back, not only do we have our own team dead, but the Karyn's just constantly pushing. And that's all it takes. It takes someone slightly tanky. He does have Sterak's Gauge. I think that's the only tanky item he has. And maybe Hex Drinker and some Mercs. But it makes him a threat where we just cannot push because he's putting so much pressure. And that's all it takes. One dude pushing. And again, if we just had a tank, if that team was just tanky, if in any way, if he was just playing a tank, even if he had the same scoreline, this game would have been over by now. That's all it takes. Or even if he had died less. If he had died less, put a little bit more pressure, a lot easier. But again, I do enjoy these sort of challenges. I definitely feel like there's so much more to learn in games like this. And I know Garen's are around here somewhere. This guy's sneaky. And there he is, right there. Now because of my, now look how much damage I do. This is at the point where I'm like, okay, I can actually destroy this guy. As long as he doesn't get silence on me, it's pretty much a one fight. So that's all I have to focus on, is not getting silence, which is pretty hard because unless I get those sneak attacks, it's not going to happen. So at this point, we have the first chance in a long time just to push some towers. And I'm pinging, I'm trying to rate calls, I'm letting them know Baron's up soon. So usually at a high elo, when you ping Baron a few times, and it's going to come up soon, it's letting people know not to die. Once that Baron time is there, people know, okay, 40 seconds. If I die now, my death time is probably going to be 40 seconds, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. And look at this. That Zoe has died like 11 times, and she's still playing decently safe. She's still flashing. She's still playing like decently safe. So that's a very respectable thing to do. And look at that. Look at the push. They're just pushing us. We cannot push. For some reason, Vayne decides to go mid instead of helping us push. If we had all focused one lane, this game would have been so much easier. There is so much miscoordination in this game. There's no coordination anywhere. Just a little bit of teamwork, a little bit of like decisions to like follow each other. And at this point, I want to take this inhibitor, but once I see the minions getting close to Garen, I know I have to watch out because of my I'm just gonna focus. Okay, just making sure if there's anything to talk about there, but basically once the minions get close to Garen, I don't have that isolation damage. Now this is a pretty good call. I like this call, so I'm gonna go for this myself. We're gonna need people to just take this Baron down really fast. I mean, Vayne's not here, and that's not good, but she's basically the main damage dealer apart from me. Now this time I'm not gonna be, suppressed by Malzahar. I definitely think we can win this fight. And that's it. We make one pick, and look at this. As soon as we get a pick, they just back off. It seems to be the main theme of this game. I'm losing my words here. Just making sure there's nothing to miss in the next coming minutes. Okay, so I guess whereas our team, every time we seem to get caught, someone else seems to get caught right after. There seems to be no disengage. It's constant deaths. And remember, I am most of the kills, so I have to be extremely careful, but I also have to go for these smart kills like this one here. And as soon as I see him dash away into the Malzahar, I have to watch out. Now, Malzahar is kind of screwed up there, but he does get the kill on Annie. He does so much damage at this point. Even if he makes a mistake, he kind of just secures the kill. I mean, these games are tough, man. I know a lot of people will have this in their games too, and which is why I'm putting this up. And you'll see at the end, you'll know exactly why I'm putting this up. And I actually decide to give him the blue just because he's actually doing a little bit better now. He can actually do with the CDR more than I can. If he can get more shrooms up, he can defend more than I can. I miss my W. That's another weakness I have there. Now this Zoe damage is insane. And I kind of want to go in, but I actually landed that E on the floor there. I couldn't actually just place that. Yeah, and then once the minion waves, I can't even talk anymore. Once the minion waves came in, there goes my W. It's going to be blocked, and I did not expect that coming up. And just like that, I gave away another kill. And one of the worst things I could have done there, because I definitely could have won this game. I definitely could have pushed this just off that one kill. Kind of screwed me over. And just a Hextech Gunblade Malzahar coming through. This is a tough game. Again, there is pretty much no synergy between our team. Everyone's doing their own thing, and it's kind of sad, because if I was really desperate for Elo, this would hurt. And at this point, I'm so fed, I don't know what to buy. That's my biggest problem. And again, I am enjoying this game. This is, even though we're struggling to win this out and finish, this could have been finished, by the way, at 25 minutes, easily. At any other Elo, this would have been finished. There's no way teams would be so separated and everyone going off into their own lane that... And it's kind of making me wonder, maybe I have to ping more. At these Elos, if you can ping more and try to kind of be a team leader and just constantly lead people to an objective or a goal. I mean, look at the Annie. That Annie is placed all the way up there. I support Annie is all the way up there. That makes no sense to me. I don't know why she's going in so early. It kind of makes me go in, and then I don't know what she was thinking. Now, I try to go for the steal here. And from my memory, yeah, I went in too late. And just like that, really bad. And at this point, I want to surrender. I've actually hit my limit. And it's... Yeah, this time I just start typing. At this point, you should never do this, by the way. But I actually hit pretty much... yeah, and then she question marked me. So this is like my limit here. This is the most frustrating thing I've seen in so long. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because it's one of those games where it's like... If we just all decided to do one thing at once, it would have been over at 25 minutes. I assure you, and this could be the reason, because I'm watching a lot of these players, they kind of know what they're doing, they understand their champions, but they're just not making the right decisions, and that's all it takes. A few good decisions, and this game would have been over. And it's kind of going through my head like, I can't believe this game is lost because of that. So at this point, I actually turned off my recording because I thought the game was over, but the inhib or the Nexus health is actually at 1 HP, so, or something like that, at least 10. It's kind of regen now, but I pretty much thought it was over, and I wasn't going to use it, but then I thought, this could actually be a lesson learned from me and for everyone else watching, because there's going to be games like this. This is the reality of games, and I've mentioned this before, but I feel like there's almost no point showing you games where we go, 20-0, completely destroy the enemy team, and it's hard to learn from that. There's no mistakes made. Every lane wins. You destroy the jungle and it's just over quicker than ever. And then, like that sort of thing where Vayne starts taking blues. Like that sort of attitude is what loses games. She may be doing that because I'm taking reds, but I'm taking reds because I'm carrying. I'm doing all I can to win. Maybe I should be giving her reds as an attitude balance so she doesn't like rage off and take blues, because blue on Vayne is pretty much as useless as it gets. You really don't need her. It's... and it makes me think, like, maybe I should have just given her the red. That's all it takes sometimes. And I want to go in and just pick someone off. Right now, I'm really strong. If I can just pick someone out. But Zoe has flash. Seems to be one of the things that I've noticed this game is it feels as if my team is just not getting rid of the enemy summoners. And this teamer is now just, like, in defense mode. I guess he just wants to play, like, some sort of, like, Minesweeper game where he's just constantly placing mushrooms. And he doesn't want to push, because I've noticed that as well. He seems to be just wanting to like place his shrooms, and that's good in a way, up to a point. But you definitely allow a lot of pressure to be taken away. And this is a tough game. I mean, unless Annie engages, we've got nothing going for us. I had to watch out for that Zoe coming in with the Q. After she hit me with the E, I definitely had to back off. I guess there isn't much else to say about this game. It gets pretty dirty. I mean, they're taking everything at this point. I mean, I want Annie to go in. And it's at this point that I'm realizing watching this that I should be pinging people to go. Oh, that silence. If I could just not get silence for 2 seconds, I definitely could have killed that Garen and picked him off. I definitely don't want to tank that Caitlyn R. And this is what I mean, like, these decisions, just getting caught out now. Alright, so we're able to get 1 kill, able to get 2 kills here. And get the GA and actually survive. So that was really good. It took me so long. I was waiting so long to get this. And that's all it took. The amount of patience I needed for that, and I really wanted to end here. But as you can tell, I don't know why this guy even went top. I have no idea. But maybe we could have all gone top at this point. These are the struggles that I have with this because I don't know where to go. I'm assuming, like, I feel like that was a really bad decision. I feel like that was a really bad decision. For him to go top, we could have definitely pushed this. And this is another reason why tanks are so important. Now we have nobody to tank the waves for us. If we had a tank, someone just building full armor, even if it was 0 and 20. And of course the exhaust comes out. Could have killed it if I didn't get exhausted. Now, if we had a tank, we could have tanked those 2 towers. We would have finished. It's so frustrating. This game is extremely frustrating. Especially if you're really after a win here. Say this was your promos. This game is as frustrating as it gets. Now, I screwed that up. Pretty much tilted at this point. She still dies, but this is what you call a tilt. Not pressing the right combos, flashing while jumping and just cancelling the jump out. Still getting okay with the kills, but now I see this guy just approaching and I want to take him out. I got to make these picks. I know I have to make picks, otherwise it's not going to work out. And that's it. That's all it takes. I'm constantly making these picks, and I feel like if this was another game, making these sort of picks is just so important. But you'll see why this game is one of the weird ones in just a few minutes now. It is a long game. Mental exhaustion comes in. Graves is waiting in the brush for me. I definitely think we could have turned this, and then I don't even know what happens here. My memory's faded. I want to get this Baron, and again, there's like, look where Katarina is, look where Teemo is. I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, the thing is, if you constantly defend, there's only so much you can defend. If we could take Baron, then come back with Baron and defend with the Baron buff, it makes defending so much easier. And I'm just doing this by myself. I don't know why Vayne's not coming. She's delaying her time. She's not autoing. If I can take this guy out, we can pretty much guarantee the Baron. Now, I smite early because there's no one to take it away from me. Still wasn't that smart to do it. And, I mean, Vayne dies. It's a headache to watch, but this is the reality of games. And I know you guys are going to see this too, but, you know, if people just didn't die as much, this game would have been over. And I keep saying that, but that's all it really takes. It is the truth. We could have won this game so many times. And remember all those small mistakes I made, even though I've got 27 kills, 10 assists, and I think I've died the least out of the entire team. Yeah, not only my team and the enemy team. I've died the least overall in the whole game. And it's still just not enough. And this is, again, you'll see in a few minutes, this is what is going to be a reality where there's going to be games where you play amazingly well. And you're going to have, I don't know, 20 kills, maybe even 30. You'll get to a point where you have 30 kills. But it's just not enough. The coordination's not there. You're spam pinging. You're doing everything you can. But it's just not enough. I'm still able to make picks. I'm constantly able to make picks. And we've got people running everywhere. The Garen's going to put pressure. With that missing tank, and I keep saying that too. This is really good here. We make a pick here, sort of, and then the Garen's speed is just too much. That's insane movement speed. And again, people are just not, like, look where everybody is. Look where their Teemo is. Vayne is just wandering around. I think she's just come from dying anyway. Karyn is pushing mid, which is fine. And he's going top as well. But there's just no coordination. I mean, at this point, we do have to defend. But look where he is. He's defending from a place with, I guess, he keeps wanting to shroom. That's his thing. And perhaps he was right at one point. And look at that. He just gets wiped out. I mean, what is going on? This is truly a mind-boggler of a game. People are just getting wiped out everywhere I look. So this is where I have to go. She seems to always have flash, by the way. I think that is the 4th or 5th time where that's just happened. So at this point, I think I'm going to hit this just for that extra movement speed. I need to hit anything at this point. I just missed that. And just like that, I die. And look how much damage we do. This is what I mean. Like, this is where I was like, why couldn't we do this all game? Why does it take my death for this to happen? But that's probably... maybe I could have gone tanky too. There's so many things I could have done that I just don't know. It becomes a really hard to decide sort of game. I definitely know my mistakes. I definitely see where I've died a few times, and I've picked that out throughout this game. If you've been patient enough to watch this the whole way through, then I commend you, because there's definitely initiative taken. Definitely a sort of interest in learning, because there is so much you can learn in these games that you just do not learn in the small 20-minute wins. And even me, I lack this experience in this late game. Maybe I could have made a decision somewhere along the line, and maybe it was one of the split pushing ones. I think when Teemo TP top, maybe we should have just all gone top. I've said this in a previous video where even if it's a wrong decision, if your entire team decides to go for it, it's the wrong decision not to follow up. So even though it's the wrong decision, it's still the right decision for you to follow up, which kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, and it sounds confusing. But even if you were to make a Baron call but no one shows up, that is the wrong call. Even if the entire enemy team is dead and you're doing it by yourself, if you can't do it by yourself, then there's no point doing it. It's the wrong decision to go for because your team doesn't want to take it. No matter how obvious it is, no matter how easy it is to take it, if your team decides not to take it, you just should not go for it at that point. And that's why this is such a team-based game. Now this is where things get really sad. And so we can definitely take this Elder right here. And this Elder would help us win the fight. So we can just, if we all focus this Elder, and we're actually going to take this. Now we're able to win, and I try to save the Teemo. I feel like saving anyone at this point is really important, and Garen backdoors. Just like that. That's it. That's all it took. Just like that. One of those games. And this is why I kept going with this. It's something where there is so much to learn, and you lose it just like that. Within a second, we've lost that game. We take the Elder. I could have gone back quick enough. I tried to save Teemo. If my mental was just a little bit faster, definitely could have made it a lot better. It's just a really long game, a lot to learn. I've even learned something myself. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below if there's anything else you want to see. If there's something I didn't talk about, maybe you want me to focus more on the champion, let me know. I really want to make these work out, because I feel like there's so much experience to be gained, especially in these sort of games. It is a loss, but I don't want to just put only wins where it's, you know, again, 20-0. There will be a lot of those games, but these are the games where you truly learn so much. And just one or two decisions, even that point, like that auto would have killed the Garen, but he literally got it, his Q off just in time. And just like that, we lost. Unfortunate. At the end of the day, it was a good game. I do enjoy those games. I had so much fun just because I'm able to play a champ like Kha'Zix and get those full builds nice and early. I felt really strong, dominant, but at the end of the day, just not enough. Those few mistakes I made, I could have, even though I did as much as I possibly could, all the damage, all the kills, least amount of deaths, as many assists as I possibly could get, just wasn't enough. And those few mistakes cost me. But and that's something you guys should be hypercritical of yourselves. You know, ignore what the mistakes your team's making. I know I was a bit focused on that Teemo not going tank, and obviously Teemo doesn't usually go tank anyway, but talking about not having a tank and all that is kind of blaming the team. But it's always okay to be aware of what's causing the loss, but at the end of the day, just be hypercritical on yourself and lenient on others, and you'll do much better. So I'll see you guys in the next video.